FTX is in a liquidity crisis and CZ, the CEO of Binance, is bailing out, or at least he's intending to bail out. He tweeted this afternoon, FTX asked for help. There is a significant liquidity crunch. To protect users, we signed a non-binding letter of intent, intending to fully acquire FTX.com and help cover the liquidity crunch. We will be conducting a full due diligence in the coming days. Now, no matter how you spin this, this is not good for crypto. First of all, this concentrates a lot of power in a single man, in CZ. The second is, this bailout is not happening in the form of, for example, a line of credit or something like this, where FTX could simply just pay back a loan with maybe trading fees in the future. Instead, CZ is buying the equity of FTX. It's making FTX a part of Binance's crypto empire. And of course, the whole situation is also damaging confidence in centralized exchanges overall. So Binance itself is probably going to see quite a few withdrawals because of this as well. Not your keys, not your crypto. Now, it's no surprise that the FTT token, which is FTX's main supporting token, has seen a massive crash. In just one day, we went from $25 all the way to currently roughly $6. Intraday, so within the day, yesterday, we even saw below $3 prices. The main problem here was that FTX basically used their FTT token as collateral. So they printed the FTT token and they bought against this, which makes them vulnerable versus price swings. And so a price swing, this is what happened in the end. Now, there is an impact though that a lot of people are not yet talking about, and that's Solana. The Solana ecosystem is very, very closely tied to the FTX exchange. And of course, Solana also went down, but it didn't go down much more than the overall market. So let's look at the last 24 hours. Of course, Bitcoin was beaten, Ethereum even more due to the inherent leverage, right? When overall market goes down, Bitcoin tends to be the least hurt. But when we then now look at Solana, Solana went down 20%. FTX went down the 73% as mentioned, but we've seen other altcoins going down even more. So Solana did not necessarily crash the most, but there is a pretty tight coupling of Solana and FTX. For example, the decentralized exchange Radium, it might process transactions via FTX. So there's a direct integration of Radium to FTX. So Radium isn't really that decentralized as it initially seems. We see these kinds of integrations in several points in the Solana ecosystem. So in case this bailout does not go through, because this is still non-binding, then Solana will definitely also face quite a bit of headwinds. Now, let's say you wanted to profit from all of this. What could you do? You could go to SoLend. So this is a Solana-based borrowing and lending platform. You could deposit some collateral here, and then you could borrow, for example, the FTT token over here. The current borrowing APR is 11% per annum, so it's not yet too expensive. You could borrow those FTT tokens. You could then swap them against something that you're bullish on. So this might simply just be a stable coin. Then wait until the FTT token falls more, then buy back the FTT token and cover the loan, right? So when you borrow here those FTT tokens, that debt is denominated in FTT tokens. And so in a decentralized way, you can short FTT if you want to do so. Note though, this is only possible on a Solana-based ecosystem. So you definitely want to cover this before Solana itself gets liquidity problems similar to the Terra Luna ecosystem. So I don't want to ride this all the way to the bottom. Now let's have a look at Solana's relative performance to other cryptocurrencies. This is Solana denominated in Bitcoin, something you've probably seen in the past. There is a little bit of a support here, but it's not much. So just an additional 7% or so until we have potentially broken this. This is Solana versus Ethereum, which probably makes more sense as a comparison because those are both smart contract platforms. And here we are in a bearish trend since September of last year. Here, the potential underperformance versus ETH is 19%. Solana is even now underperforming against Cardano, and Cardano doesn't have too much of technical development recently, right? So ADA is struggling as well, but Solana is able to even top that struggle. And this might be the most interesting of the charts. This is Solana versus BNB, right? BNB being the main native coin of the Binance smart chain. BNB is doing pretty well. Solana is doing pretty poorly. And so the underperformance since September of last year versus BNB is 85%. Now, this is why I say there is this spillover effect. When we look at BNB itself, it did not go up in terms of US dollars. It also went down. So this potential FTX crisis is hurting everyone, including Binance. Capital is simply leaving the crypto ecosystem, and especially centralized services do appear now to be more risky than initially anticipated. Can Bitcoin relatively gain from this? Not much. So this is Bitcoin's dominance. How much of all of crypto is locked up in Bitcoin? And this is currently at 40.6%. And it didn't really shoot up over here. So it's really a broad market sell-off. We don't have any kind of winners. We've got PEX Gold and Binary X, and that's about it. Everything else is correlated to crypto, and even the stable coins now see withdrawals and are rather undershooting than overshooting. So people are moving into fiat. There is some kind of a support technically in Bitcoin, and that's the 18K mark where we have bounced off several times, but we did undershoot this during the FTX crisis. So look at this. We haven't been at those 17.2K for quite a long time, right? We have to go back to the year 2020 to see similar prices, but now we are back to those support levels. So it will be interesting to see if we can actually hold this level and if things now settle down with this bailout, or if we are in it for a really, really long-term crypto winter. Crypto winter that's potentially comparable to the Silk Road and Mt. Gox crash, right? Mt. Gox got shut down in February of 2014, and that's then when we saw an additional drop of 64%. FTX completely shutting down would probably be some kind of a similar event. Before Mt. Gox was shutting down, we had already seen a 50% drop. Now we are roughly 70% from Bitcoin's top to the current level. So just because we have dropped 70% doesn't mean we can't drop any further, right? 70% was roughly the point over here. And still, even after that, you can potentially still drop more. This is now definitely a time of panic. And people always say, buy when there is blood in the streets. This is definitely a very rough time. If you've currently got money on FTX, obviously it does make sense to withdraw it. It's unlikely that it's not going to get honored, but rather be safe than sorry. There is no real upside into keeping your money on FTX. But there is a lot of risk mitigation by having the money in your cold storage. If you're looking for a community to discuss all of this, feel free to check out the Bitcoin Strategy Telegram channel. Simply search for Bitcoin Strategy channel within the Telegram app here at the bottom left. Looking forward to see you over there. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Bye bye.